you would know the secret of death. But how shall you find it unless you seek it in the heart of life? The owl, whose night-bound eyes are blind unto the day, cannot unveil the mystery of light. If you would indeed behold the spirit of death, open your heart wide unto the body of life. For life and death are one, even as the river and sea are one. In the depth of your hopes and desires lies your silent knowledge of the beyond. And like seeds dreaming beneath the snow, your heart dreams of spring. Trust the dreams, for in them is hidden the gate to eternity. Your fear of death is but the trembling of the shepherd when he stands before the king whose hand is to be laid upon him in honor. Is the shepherd not joyful beneath his trembling that he shall wear the mark of the king? Yet is he not more mindful of his trembling? For what is it to die but to stand naked in the wind and to melt into the sun? And what is it to cease breathing but to free the breath from its restless tides, that it may rise and expand and seek God unencumbered? Only when you drink from the river of silence shall you indeed sing. And when you have reached the mountaintop, then you shall begin to climb. And when the earth shall claim your limbs, then shall you truly dance. Those words come from The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. Nearly every culture from the beginning of human history has in some way honored their dead. India's Pitru Paksha, Japan's Obon Festival, Mexico's Dia de los Muertos are just a few. There is even evidence that our ancestral cousins, the Neanderthals, performed ceremonial burials for their dead over 300,000 years ago. It seems that there is some universal drive, some inexorable compulsion that compels us to honor our dead, to venerate our ancestors, to remember our lost loved ones. We must never forget how to remember. Several years ago, I wrote a sermon, and it was a pretty good one, if I do say so myself, but I never actually delivered it. And I'll explain why in a moment. That sermon was about the importance of remembering, specifically remembering loved ones that we have lost. The central premise of that sermon was that, etymologically speaking, in terms of word origins, the antonym, that is the opposite of the word remembering, in fact, is not forgetting. Rather, the antonym, the literal opposite of the word remembering, is dismembering. Dismemberment, of course, is the action of having one's limbs pulled off. It is a violent, disquieting, unsettling concept, and in many ways, it is an apt description of what it feels like to lose someone that is close to us. Have you ever lost someone so close to you that when they left, it felt like a piece of you went missing too? And no matter how much time passed, that absence never completely went away, and you never again felt completely whole. When our soul is bonded to another and then torn asunder by death, we have, in a manner of speaking, been dismembered. And when we take time to recall and honor the memory of those loved ones, when we reconnect ourselves to that which was lost, we, at least temporarily, reverse that spiritual dismemberment. In effect, we are remembering. That is, we are, if even for a moment, reattaching that part of us that was severed. So that was the basic gist of the sermon that I never delivered. Now, the reason I never delivered it is because after I wrote it, I went to do the research on the word origins to support my premise that the word remembering is the opposite of the word dismembering, and it turned out there's absolutely no relationship between those words at all. I tried desperately to find some way that I could at least say there was some doubt among linguists and philologists so that it could possibly be true, but it simply is not. So I guess that means that it is just a beautiful lie. But it is a lie that we can all help to make at least a little true if we choose to honor and remember our loved ones with that kind of intensity and intentionality. Through the magic of memory, we reconnect to our loved ones who are gone. And these interconnections are a part of the great web of existence, of which we living human beings are but one part. These interconnections transcend even death. We are all of us, the living and the dead, inextricably knit together. As a spiritual community, we take this moment today to pause, to intentionally pull ourselves away from the usual script of daily life, to give our attention, our affection, our thoughts, and our hearts to those still connected to us who have passed away. So this morning, you are invited to partake in any one of several rituals through which you may remember, honor, and reconnect to those loved ones who have passed away. For those who would like to participate in a walking meditation, our labyrinth downstairs through those doors is open to all of you. Also, to the south, just past those doors, is our memorial garden. You are welcomed to stand, walk, or sit there among those who, like all of us now, were once a vital part of this community. If you would like to reflect on and remember your loved one by communing with nature, the entirety of the church grounds are open to you. It sounds like we've got our nature trail open, so you are welcome to participate in that. And you may also remain in your seat if you wish. And you may also go to any one of these walls in our sanctuary to look at these pictures brought in by our members. These are portraits of people who have passed on, people who were and are deeply loved by someone at this church. And if you so desire, you can also come and light a special candle in memory of one who has passed. All of these options are available to you for the rest of this morning. So I will release you in a moment, and at approximately 11:55, I will ring the church bell to bring you back to center, to reconvene us in our sanctuary so we may conclude our service. So for the next 10 minutes, I ask each of you to help preserve sacred silence both in this sanctuary and especially in our memorial garden. At this time, you are released